DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Details on a criminal investigation at a Delaware high school. Plus, what was prohibited is now permitted. Changes coming to state courts. And details on a first-of-its-kind event you can get in on to start your summer on a high note. We'll explain. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for being with us this evening. A former University of Delaware student has been extradited from Germany, where he's lived since October 2020 to the United States, nearly a year after being indicted on federal charges. 29-year-old Kyle Stevens from Mays Landing, New Jersey, is facing charges of cyber stalking and making threats in interstate or foreign commerce. Additionally, separate indictments have been issued for wire fraud and money laundering, as federal prosecutors allege that the former student fraudulently obtained over $1.4 million in pandemic business loans. Court documents show that for a 6-month period, the man sent threatening and anti-Semitic messages to women using randomly generated phone numbers. The University of Delaware police did intervene and arrest him. He was subsequently placed on probation for a year, but was released early and moved overseas to pursue studies at a German university. However, the man resumed sending those threatening messages to his former lab partner. He sent her money requests through Venmo and made threats of shooting her via Facebook, email, and text messages. If convicted on these charges, the Department of Justice has stated that the accused man could face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison for threats of stalking, as well as 20 years in prison for wire fraud and money laundering. In other news, an Aberdeen, Maryland police officer is currently hospitalized with severe injuries after a collision in Newark. The other driver involved has been charged with driving under the influence. Now, according to Newark police, the crash took place early Sunday morning on the Christina Parkway. The officer was operating an unmarked vehicle and became trapped in the wreckage for about 45 minutes before emergency responders were able to extradite him and then transport him to a medical facility. The driver of the other vehicle, identified as 24-year-old Jonathan Hendricks from Middletown, Delaware, also sustained injuries. The Aberdeen Police Department reported that Acting Corporal James Haddix was en route to his duty station from his residence when the incident occurred. Haddix's condition has been described as critical. Authorities urge anyone with information regarding this incident to contact Newark Police at 302-366-7100. New information has emerged regarding the placement of multiple staff members from Sussex Central High School in the Indian River School District that were placed on administrative leave last week. State police have initiated a criminal investigation into the matter in collaboration with the Department of Justice and the Indian River School District. According to state police, the decision to launch the investigation was made after consultation and review with the Department of Justice. Updates on the investigation will be provided when they become available. In response to the situation, the district released a statement characterizing the placement of their employees on paid leave as what they call a routine practice. It clarified that such action should not be interpreted as an indication of impending employment consequences or wrongdoing. The district stated that it will refrain from making comments on the ongoing investigation. And the Delaware Judiciary is embracing the digital age as it announced that visitors will be permitted to bring cell phones and personal electronics into all court facilities starting today, June 1st. This expansion marks a significant shift in court policy, which previously prohibited the entry of cell phones into courthouses for several years. The pilot program, initially implemented in February of 2022 and already in place in a few other court facilities, demonstrated success without notable safety or operational concerns. While personal devices will be allowed in hallways, lobbies, and other public areas of the courthouses, their use must not disrupt or disturb court proceedings. However, with limited exceptions, photography, audio recording, and video recording will be prohibited in the courthouse. Visitors will be permitted to use their devices or photograph or scan public court documents in clerks' offices. Additionally, all visitors will be required to turn off or silence their devices when inside the courtroom. Individuals present in the courtroom may be asked to place their devices in a secure locking pouch until they leave. A final evaluation of the pilot program is anticipated in March of 2024, determining whether the changes should be implemented permanently. The court's website provides further details regarding the new cell phone policy under the pilot program. And Newcastle County has passed County Executive Matt Meyer's budget for the upcoming 2024 fiscal year. The approved budget amounts to over $331 million, a nearly 4% increase from the current fiscal year. Meyer is expected to formally sign the budget into law into the next few days. One significant highlight of the budget is the introduction of a 5% tax credit for homeowners here in Newcastle County. County taxes will see a modest reduction next year as the county has substantially increased its tax reserves by 400% over the past 6 years. In light of the current state of inflation, the surplus will be returned to taxpayers. With the average annual Newcastle County tax bill amounting to approximately $650, homeowners can anticipate a reduction of around $32.50 in the coming year. The one-time adjustment aims that taxes will provide some relief for local households. Another notable aspect of the budget is the allocation of funds for investments in county parks. Plans include the construction of 25 new pickleball courts, the addition of a second turf field to Banning Park, and the refurbishment of existing facilities. Additionally, Brandywine Springs and Carousel Park will receive enhancements, while $3.6 million has been designated for the improvement of walking paths and softball fields at Delcastle Recreational Park. Legislators here in the first state who are advocating for the creation of a state office of Inspector General have decided to delay introducing a bill until next year due to higher than expected expenses such as Medicaid for the year 2024. According to Senator Laura Sturgeon, the creation of a new agency comes with a cost of around $2 million. Given the tight state budget and the process already made in the markup process, finding funding for the office this year seems unlikely. The idea of an inspector general with the authority to examine state programs and ensure proper spending has been discussed in the General Assembly for years. While financial concerns are currently a barrier, some individuals have reservations about the proposed legislation. Questions have been raised about why existing entities such as the State Auditor of Accounts or the Department of Justice couldn't just fulfill the duties of an Inspector General. The Tattnall School in Wilmington is embarking on a summer transformation of its library to incorporate STEM technology, including 3D printers, robotics, and a new media bar. School and government officials held a groundbreaking ceremony this week. Tattnall is not alone in updating its library to align with today's technology and learning styles. Tower Hill School previously unveiled its education hub, funded through a capital campaign. Tattnall received $475,000 grant from the Longwood Foundation, contributing to the project. Additional funds were provided by local foundations as well as private individuals within the Tattnall community. The new library will feature flexible learning spaces, including comfortable lounges and conference rooms, to encourage creativity and provide teachers with more flexibility in delivering materials. The project also involves creating an eco-courtyard outside the library to showcase the school's commitment to outdoor learning and eco-friendly technology. There are many hidden gems hiding in plain sight throughout the First State, including, according to Architectural Digest magazine, America's birdhouse design builder extraordinaire. Kalyn Pride has more on how this local carpenter creates masterpieces of history. Take a look.
Some call him a carpenter or a painter. Others call him an artist.
I'm America's birdhouse designer builder.
For the past 2 decades, Thomas Burke has been making birdhouses in his shop, located in the basement of his condominium right here in Wilmington.
How did you find a love for building?
I started building real homes with my father many years ago. And then one day I built a birdhouse for a girlfriend. And eventually I built another one for a friend of hers. And I've been building for the last 20 years.
But this builder doesn't make regular birdhouses. He is known for creating masterpieces with meaning.
This is the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. It was involved in a civil rights march many years ago. Edmund Pettus was a commander of the Ku Klux Klan. And since John Robert Lewis died, they've been trying to have this bridge renamed after him. So this is my bit to get that done. It has, I think, 60 bird homes in it. So the birds will be flying their good trouble all around the world.
His work has caught the attention of many household names.
My first really major birdhouse was I built for George Lucas at Skywalker Ranch. And that was as big as, I say it was as big as a Volkswagen Beetle.
Because of his work, Thomas has received calls from celebrities such as Tyler Perry, built birdhouses for others such as A-Rod and renowned artist Andrew Wyeth.
I've actually built for 4 people on the Forbes 400 billionaires list. So that's pretty good.
One of Thomas's most prized possessions is a piece that makes him proud to be a Delawarean.
This is the Wilmington train station birdhouse. Joe Biden took the train to Washington, D.C. when he was a senator from Delaware every weekday and then would come home at night so he could tuck his boys in bed. And when he and his wife, Jill, were going to, when they left the vice presidency, I had the Naval Observatory on the other side of this. Then Joe Biden decided to run for president, and I had to tear the Naval Observatory off, and I put the White House on it.
His hope is to one day see the birdhouse in the Rose Garden at the White House and later on the campus of University of Delaware.
Like, I do this for a living, building birdhouses that look like people's homes. But when I'm not doing a commission for somebody, I like doing something that means something.
For DETV News, I'm Kalyn Pride.
And now that summer is unofficially underway, if you're looking for ways to get out and enjoy the weather and some music, well, Opera Delaware has you covered. They're diving into the summer season with a pop-up opera. They're inviting the community to join them for the launch party beginning this Sunday, June 4th at Independence Mall on Concord Pike. Joining us now to talk more about the event is Opera Delaware's Vice President of Engagement, our good friend, Carrie Ann Otano. Welcome, Carrie Ann.
Thank you so much for having me, Matt.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
This is great.
So I'm excited about this event. What can you tell us about it?
Well, a lot of people are hesitant to go to an opera for the first time because it's a big commitment, right? Opera is this larger than life, really grand experience. So what we're able to do with our mobile opera stage is to go out into the community and give these bite-sized, accessible performances. So we're gonna have our top tier, incredible opera singers performing on this mobile stage. We're gonna have wine tastings, we're gonna have raffles, and we're gonna have just a super fun day out in Independence Mall.
That's excellent. So is this open to all ages, this event?
It is. So the wine tasting, you gotta be 21 and over for the wine tasting. But just to come and enjoy the event, we really wanna encourage families and anyone who's curious about what pop-up opera is to come and experience it.
That's great. So the pop-up opera, has this been done anywhere in this area before?
So Pop-Up Opera initially started with Opera Delaware during the pandemic when we realized we couldn't gather people in spaces anymore. We wanted to go out into the community. Since then, it's blossomed into school tours, performances up and down the entire state. This will be the first time ever that we're doing it at Independence Mall, and we plan to do it on a yearly basis to launch the summer season with our amazing partners like Swig and Snuff Mill, Pashira's. There are so many great partners in Independence Mall who are going to help us celebrate this pop-up.
So the wine tasting, which of course caught my attention there. So how many different wines are we tasting? What are we talking about?
We're trying 5 lovely little tastes of wine, $15. The wine tastings are every hour at 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. And if you love a glass of wine, you can buy your own glass of wine, or you can go into Swig and purchase a bottle. And portions of the sales from that day, Swig is going to donate to Opera Delaware, because we have the best partnerships with the folks in Independence Mall, like Swig and Snuff Mill.
That's excellent. So can people come and go throughout the event, throughout the afternoon?
Absolutely. You can bring a lawn chair. You can sit and enjoy multiple performances. Kids can play in our bubble machines. We're going to be launching t-shirts in our t-shirt cannon. We're going to be spinning the raffle wheel so people can get prizes. It's going to be a ton of fun. But mostly we just want people to realize that opera is for everyone.
It's for everybody. So if someone hasn't been to an opera before, is this maybe a good time for them to experience it in sort of this festival atmosphere?
Absolutely. And it's fun, it's approachable, it's bite-sized, and you can come and meet the artists and come and meet us. I think that getting to know the community and getting to know the artists is going to make such a huge difference in how people feel comfortable about approaching the opera when we start again in the fall.
Excellent. Now, you had a big event recently, the Micro Gala, right down here on Market Street.
Yes, we did.
Tell us about that event.
The micro gala we did for opening night of La Traviata, it was such a huge success. We're going to do it again in the fall and in the spring of this year. But what we were able to do was we hired a professional photographer to do a red carpet runway photo shoot so people could show us how they dress to impress and how they turn a look at the opera. We had professionally run poker and blackjack tables. We had free champagne, again provided by our friends at Swig. We had a beautiful spread of Italian food. And the whole idea, again, much like this micro gala at Independence Mall, the idea is for people to have fun and gather and realize that these spaces that have typically been really formal are actually a great space to gather as a community and enjoy art together.
Speaking of formal, so, you know, when people think of an opera, they need to think of black tie, right?
Oh, yes.
So when they go this weekend out to Independence Mall, do they have to wear certain attire? Are there guidelines? What should they know?
This is a great question. So I will tell you that I'm showing up in a bright yellow jumpsuit with a giant matching hat. I'm going to be turning a look that will be at a 15 out of 10. Okay, so I challenge you to match me where I am, meet my energy, right? I think that any time that you go to an event at the opera, especially an Opera Delaware event, it is a chance to dress to impress. It is a chance to show how you want to be seen. But this is also a very casual event. So I want people to have fun and be comfortable. We will have professional photographers there. You can grab a couple of iconic shots. But it's really mostly an opportunity to have a great time.
Opportunity, I see what you did
there.
An
opportunity, if you will.
Now, you had mentioned, now where can viewers get tickets for that event?
If you go to operade.org, you can get tickets for the wine tasting, $15 for the wine tasting with Swig. You can also get tickets for our event on Monday night, which is with Snuff Mill. The event on Monday night is a fantastic, intimate, curated 4-course dinner and wine pairing prepared by Chef Robert. It is also, he prepared this incredible meal to go along with a performance by our top tier singers who are going to be performing in the intimate space of Snuff Mill. Tickets for this event are $250 each for this very exclusive event, and there are less than 10 tickets remaining. So I really want to encourage people to go to operade.org and join us for both this casual, fun, family-friendly event on Sunday and this big blowout fancy pants event on Monday.
Excellent. So people can just show up on Sunday.
Yes, they can. They can buy tickets.
And buy tickets, right? And then on Monday, they do need to buy tickets, and soon, since we only have 10 left available.
Absolutely. I highly recommend going to operade.org and getting your tickets in advance.
Sounds good. Carrie Ann, we'll have you back soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you being here. Thanks. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's edition of DETV News. Be sure to like and follow us all across your favorite social media platforms. And while you're there, take a look at our website. That's detvch.com. With tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. I'm headed to get one of those 10 tickets, and there's only going to be 9 left. We'll see you again next time.